Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, July 22nd. Hopefully, everyone had a great weekend. Market is going to open in about 11 minutes, 6:19 right now. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. All right, a few more things here. That's good. One last thing. And it looks like we are good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Link is sent out. All right, looks like we are good to go here. So as people join in, I'm gonna go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. To the 8 hour. Down to the 4 hour. Down to the 2 hour. Down to the 1 hour. Down to the 30 minute. Down to the 15 minute. Looks like market hasn't really been moving too much since market open on Sunday. You guys can see it's like pretty much going sideways right here. I do expect a lot of volatility here on open because of obviously what's happened over the weekend with Biden dropping out of the race and the Microsoft issues. There's also earnings this week. I believe this week for a lot of tech stocks. So, all right. So you guys can see over here, price has pretty much been super choppy. Market liquidity volatility is very low. We'll see what happens here when market opens. So, all right, guys. Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, July 22nd. Hopefully, everyone had a great weekend. Feels great to finally be back here with you guys, and I am ready to get back into the market. So let's see who's here so far. Morning, morning Daniel, morning Maria, morning Sadie, morning CJ. Daniel said, "Did you guys have any flight problems?" So a few of the guys did. One of the guys couldn't even make it because his flight was like completely canceled. And then one of our guys is still in Austin, Texas right now because he's his connecting flight got canceled. I mean, it just kept getting delayed and finally got canceled. So yeah, a few of the guys had problems with their flights. Luckily, majority of us didn't because a lot of us left on Thursday. So that was before all this stuff happened. Friday is when the Microsoft issues occurred. So yeah, thankfully for the majority of us, no issues, but there were issues for a couple people. Yes, so this weekend was very eventful to say the least, right? Eventful in a lot of ways. Um, yeah, it's crazy. A lot of stuff happened over the weekend, like all over. So I think the market's gonna be pretty volatile this week, guys. A lot of people have been asking me what I think is gonna happen. I think the market's gonna be bullish for the week. I think now that Biden's out of the race, um, I mean, the main thing here is that I think the campaign's gonna get more and more. It's just gonna be more public because obviously there's gonna be a new runner-up for the Democratic Party. So I think with politics and stuff and just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, the market's gonna be a lot more volatile as the campaigning starts to pick up. So we'll see. I mean, that's going to be kind of what we're expecting, what we're hoping for. And I think this week is definitely going to be a bit bullish. Right now, the ATR is currently at 7 ATR, 625 right now. We have 5 minutes till market opens. So we got some time here. Liquidity is sitting above, guys. So I marked up liquidity here. First level of liquidity is at 40,660 above. And the closest level below is at 40,604. So that upper level right there just got hit. Next level is at 40,686. This level right here is also the Asia high. So we'll see. Let me check the news real quick. I don't think there's any news today. So we had some pre-market news here. Chicago Fed National Activity Index. It was positive. It was at 530. So I'll just mark that up. Then we have no other news later today for the most part. So you had some medium impact news right here at 530. And that's about it. So pretty clear today. I think it's going to be pretty volatile because of the news from the weekend, but for the most part, there's no specific news that we'll be looking out for. Tomorrow, we have existing home sales at 7. Wednesday, we have good trades balance, wholesale inventories, retail inventories, etc., new home sales, gas stock change. Thursday, we have some higher impact news, initial jobless claims, continuing jobless claims, etc. And on Friday, we have PCE price index. So looks like the week's going to start off a little slow with regards to news, and then it's going to pick up higher as we get closer to midweek. So we'll see what happens here. I'm going to leave the liquidity right there first, and then we'll see what happens here when market opens. But the volatility is starting to pick up. It was at 5 ATR when I first got on, picked up to 7. Now it's at 9. Definitely expecting some volatility here right on market open. Yeah, exactly, Nick, per usual. Today's Monday, guys, so obviously, that's just how the market moves. We got some low volatility pre-market, picks back up a little bit as we get closer to open. And then our market open, we're probably going to get some increased volatility. So the thing that you want to be careful for here on open, guys, is going to be the chop, right? Be careful for the opening chop because I'm expecting some volatility spikes on open just because of everything that's happened over the weekend. There's going to be a lot of people flooding into the market. I think specifically because Biden is out of the race, that's going to be one of the biggest things. So looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 66% short. This indicates that 66% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So we're probably going to be looking for some buys today, which we were already going to look for anyways. But again, you want to be a little careful and you want to be very cognizant of the market volatility here on open. So we got market opening up in about 2 minutes. If price pushes back up, the closest target price point is going to be the liquidity up here for buys. And if price comes down, closest level for target is going to be the liquidity down here. Right. So we'll see what happens here, guys. Market is going to open up in about 30 seconds. We've got price climbing up here just like we anticipated. The divergence here isn't bullish yet. It's trying to shift up to bullish. Yeah, Nick said a lot of open space up top. Might just slam through it. That's what I'm expecting too. So there goes our first level of liquidity right there. Price starting to climb up. It's being bullish just like we expected. No surprise here. There goes price climbs up higher. So the next target price point is going to be the levels right here. And the next target price point above that is going to be the next levels. There's not really much liquidity. The New York high is like way up here. So I do expect those price points to get hit, but we'll have to see what happens here on open. So here goes the opening candle, guys. Price is pushing up just like anticipated. Let the market kind of stabilize a little bit before I start looking for some entries, but I'll be looking for some possible market flow entries here as price obviously bounces around. So again, I'm looking for price to pull back, bounce off the pivot, come back up sharply, provide opportunity for a buy. First two levels of liquidity here got hit. First level down below here got hit pre-market. Next level right here got hit. And let's see if price continues to push up past it. I'll leave it up there for a little bit just for price to kind of look for that retest. And what you guys like to look for that retest. All right, so we got price coming down right here. I'm not going to take it yet because it's touching a couple red flags, opening price and the sessions. I'm okay with it just touching opening price, but the sessions I want to be a little careful for. So there was a market flow entry right here that came up, guys, went straight to its TP. If anybody took that, again, like I said, it's a little risky because it was getting close to the sessions and the opening price. I'm okay with it bouncing off one, but not exactly both. So here goes the opening chop that I was warning about. I'm gonna wait for the next candle. I don't really want to trade in this middle area right here though. So yeah, the chop is starting to get a little choppy. So I would just wait a little bit, guys. Start a chop right here down the middle off opening price, just like we anticipated. I'm gonna wait for it to climb up a little bit, climb up, and go from there. All right, so here goes the chop that we were just expecting. Yeah, you guys can see all the chop right here down the middle. I mean, there's another market flow entry that came up right there, but I just don't like the way that price is currently moving right here. The volatility is just all over the place. Yeah, exactly. Sadie said maybe just let the dust settle a little bit. So I'm waiting for it too. All right, so we got price climbing back up. It's bullish just like we expected. Again, if you guys are looking for entries here, I prefer to look for some buys, of course. So again, right here, I'll look for price to maybe come back down, swing back up. I'm gonna take off this liquidity here. So I'm gonna let this come down a little bit, come right back up. Still got a lot of time on this candle. There's a bullish push right there. All right, so price doing exactly what we expected. Being bullish. I'll look for this to come down a little bit. So price is pretty far from the pivots. If price comes down and bounces off the levels here, I'll be okay with taking this for a market flow entry. I just need it to bounce off some sort of structure, and it's got to be like a decent structure, not just like something random. At least for here, it's going to pull back pretty hard, and then if it swings back up, that'll be key. We got 30 seconds left on this candle. Twenty seconds. So it hasn't touched the levels yet. Waiting for it to come down. It's got 13 seconds. Probably not going to swing up here. Yeah, there's not enough time. Wait for the next candle. All right, we got about 40 seconds left on the candle right here. So again, I'm looking for price to pull back, maybe bounce off the level and come right back up higher. This is an actual levels entry though. So if you guys took this as a levels entry, you could have taken that right there for a buy down at the actual level. Again, using these entries as your confluences will be key because you'll see a lot of different setups here, kind of just coming up along the way. All right, so the chop is kind of pushing up a little bit, as you guys can see here. The volatility is kind of slowing down a little bit, but we are looking for, the same setup that we've been looking for. So I'm looking for price to come down, bounce off, come back up. New candle here. It's got a lot of time. 40 seconds here. Looks like price is starting to consolidate here for a second, which is fine. Eventually after the consolidation, price volatility should pick back up. Okay, perfect. So we got this here pulling down. If this pulls down to the level and swings right back up, perfect. We're at the point we're looking for. It has about 20 seconds left on it. So if this candle swings all the way back up, I'll be looking to take this here for a market flow entry. Got 15 seconds, probably not going to swing up on this candle. But if it does, that's what I'm going to be looking for. No entry here. Again, looking for the same setup again. So I need it to come down a little bit more. It's just not down far enough. It's got a pending sell signal here. Let's see, I'm gonna give it some time. Well, it's a little too late for entry here, guys. I don't know if anybody caught the market flow. It just happened too quickly. Shot right up. Probably get in for a late entry right here. Let's see. Get in right here. Oh, the entry was horrible on that one, guys. So I'm gonna watch this right here. Probably pull out a little early because the entry was just really, really bad on that one.
Order submitted.
So let me see if I can swing this up a little bit. Just trying to get in for a late entry right there, guys. I ended up kind of just getting caught in the slippage because it spiked up and then it came right back down. Let me see where it's at. Yeah, okay, I got stopped out on that. The entry was just not good. I tried to get in for a late entry because I saw that it barely hit the thing, but then I ended up getting caught because it spiked up. My entry was way up here and I couldn't get out in time. So it's all good. Waiting for the next one here. There's another opportunity here if this swings back up green. Yeah, it's doing kind of what we expected, guys. So I said, look out for the chop here. The price is chopping, it's back and forth. There's just a big range within this area. This was what I was looking to get into. Price came up, it like barely hit its TP. So I was like, okay, I get in for late entry as it swings back up. But what happened here was I got in late, my entry was right here. It hit TP again, but because I wasn't able to adjust my TP in time, it didn't trigger it. So it's all good. We will continue to look for the next opportunity here. The volatility is still pretty high, so it's decent. Looking for the same thing here again. This price climbs up. So price is pushing up. Again, I'm looking for price to come down and then swing right back up. Yeah, exactly. Nick said those pending orders are crucial. I just set them up immediately when they push up or down where I want them to reject. Yeah. Because if you get in at like the wrong, like how I just did right now, the slippage was horrible on that. I got in like at 3 points over and I wasn't able to move my TP in time to the actual TP. So it looks like some of you guys here pulled out with profit. Some of you guys didn't. Um, yeah, it's just moving super quickly. Okay, so there's another opportunity right here. The entry is at 699. Watch it right here as it comes up. All right, so the entry is right there. Again, this point. Let's see around that. 13.
Order submitted.
Yeah. So the volatility is there. Let's see, it pushes back up higher. Cha-ching. Oh man, so I got out at the volatility is just a little too high, guys. My stop loss got moved in profit right there, so I got out at 10. So I mean, it's okay. I got it right there. If you guys got it, I heard the cha-ching sound, the money sound. So if you guys are using a trailing stop loss, it looks like probably got pulled out at 10 points. So I got like decent profit right there. Not the best, but decent profit right there. Nick got it. CJ got it. Sadie got it. Solid, guys. So that's cool right there. There was another opportunity for entry right here. I guess I'll just wait for it. Technically getting right here, guys. I got in late right here for this one. Solid entry right there. So price came down, bounced off the pivot, shot back up. I'll be watching again here if it ends up moving the stop loss in profit, which it probably will. The volatility here is starting to die down a little bit. So you guys can see here it's starting to slow down, but we are expecting the bullish push to continue pushing from this point here. So let's see where I'm at. Yeah, the volatility here is starting to get a little slow. So it's going to be a little tough to catch these. I got stopped out on that one. Sorry. I'm just at one net loss for the day, guys. So I'm not that bad right now because I lost one for partial. I made the other one right here and then another one. So I'm still at one. I'm just at one net loss for the day. So I still have one more opportunity to get back in and then we'll go from there. Yeah, the choppiness right here is what we expected. And there's just the volatility dies down a little bit, picks back up, dies down, picks back up. Right here, there's just too much chop. So this is what we were most worried about for today, starting off the day. I mentioned just be careful for the chop, look for the direction to be set. It looked like we had some direction up here, but it's really just in the chop. The chop hasn't even been established yet. We have the range up here. The top range is going to be the 750 mark, and the lower range right here is going to be the 650 mark. But that's kind of where price is ranging from. It's ranging between this upper area and this lower area right here. What we're looking for and what we want is we want price to continue climbing from this area, right? The volatility is there, but at some point it kind of dies down a little bit. And this is kind of where it's bouncing from, between 650 and 750 right here. So I'll sit tight for a little bit right now and just wait. Basically just wait for price to move in its direction. It can move below or it can move above. We don't care which direction it goes. We just need price to get out of this chop right here because it's just not a good area to be trading in. 650 and the 750 mark right here. Nikki said possible CV. Yeah, this is a possible CV if this closes green, but it's right at the session, so I wouldn't take it as a CV. I would use it as a confluence. So if it does close, this could be a CV pattern, a reversal pattern. You can expect this to climb right back up. No CV there. The candle didn't close green. And we will continue following it here. So there's a lot of crazy movements right here, guys. So you can see over here where my arrows are. That was our first entry came up. Second entry came up here. It's hit its TP. And then my third entry right here was kind of a messy entry. It looked like it was going to push up, honestly. It looked like it was bouncing off real nice, and then it came down super hard. So continue to follow through here. Let's see. Jonathan said one and done. He's done for the day. See you guys tomorrow. All right, Jonathan, we'll see you back here. So Jonathan locked in his profit for the day. He's good. Again, we're just waiting for price to break out of the chop. It looks like it's finally breaking out of the chop and pushing down below. So we might be able to start looking for some sells here. This price continues to, obviously bounce around this area. So the target price point, if price drops down lower, is going to be liquidity down here. The trend hasn't really shifted yet, so you might want to be a little careful with taking some sells here first until there's the confirmation is getting better though. So the trend is starting to shift to the downside. Again, first target price point is going to be the liquidity down here. But the trend here still has not confirmed. So it's only 6:45, guys. It feels like we've been trading for a while, but it's only 6:45. We still got a lot of time here. This price continues to obviously bounce around. The good thing is that price is out of the chop now. It's now down below. So we'll see if it actually stays below here. Otherwise, it'll probably swing right back up. So again, the target price point down here is going to be the liquidity. All right, we got price swinging back up. Hasn't hit the target here, guys. So this is a good thing because you don't want price to hit target super quickly. You want the target to still be there. We got price kind of just sitting down here now. Yeah, exactly. CJ said that session is acting like a magnet, messing up the flow. Yeah, because initially I thought price was going to climb up. Well, that's where we expected price to go and hit the next session up here, like it was way up here. But this Asia high over here is kind of acting like a magnet as it pulls it back up. So this target, again, still hasn't been hit. Looking for price to swing up a little bit, bounce off the pivot, come right back down. All right. So price is pushing down to the target right here. Looks like the target might get hit right now. Target just got hit. So we didn't get that retracement for the market flow, but price did hit the target right here that I mentioned earlier. So if price continues to drop down, it's going to hit the liquidity, which it just did. Now you can possibly look for price to retrace up a little bit and come right back down again. All right, so we're gonna look for this to swing up on the next candle, come back down for a retest of this area. All right, so now I'm looking for this to push up and come right down below. For these liquidities here, I'd be careful with taking them on the first touch. I think the second or third touch might be better because you guys can see it did the same thing above earlier when it first hit the earlier liquidity. So it's just a little tricky. I mean, for the sells here, I'd even be more careful with the sells until like there's a better confirmation. The trend is shifting a little bit, but it's not to the point where it's like fully confirmed that price is likely to keep dropping. If it does keep dropping, the next target price point is going to be this liquidity down here. So I'll be looking for some confirmations of market flow here, retracement up, continuation down, and drop right back to the next level. All right, so I'm looking for a hard retracement right here. There's no hard retracement. Here's the third touch of liquidity right there. I guess the touches should be kind of spaced out. So I would still consider this the first touch. I need price to kind of retrace back a little bit and come back down. Then I'll consider like the second touch. All right, so looking at this right here, price has not retraced back hard enough yet. Definitely need a bit of a harder retracement because I don't want price to be sitting down here, just sitting down here flat. So we got a few seconds left on here. We got the retracement. All right, if this comes back down, this could be a possible opportunity for a market flow, guys. Just a heads up. It's a pretty strong retracement right there. I don't know if it'll come back down, but if it does, this could be a possible market flow entry back down to the bottom, back to liquidity. So I'll be watching it right here for entry. See, it's got 30 seconds left on it, so it's still got a lot of time. Or, I mean, this might be another correction back to the upside. It's not looking like it's going to come down at this point. 20 seconds left on the candle. Yeah, I'm not expecting this to come back down. Okay, if price comes back down, this is going to be the retracement, the target again if price retraces back down, but it looks like there's going to be a correction back up here, which preferably that's kind of where I want to be anyways. I'd rather trade to the upside. All right, so we got price climbing back up here. I don't want to trade in this middle area right here, guys. I'm gonna wait for it to climb up again a little higher. So I'm gonna let it climb up. It can bounce off the opening price and come back up like that. I'm okay with the opening price. I just don't like this middle area. There's the sessions and there's opening price right there. So preferably, I'd rather have price come up, bounce off this structure, go up higher, or even push up even higher, bounce off this structure, and go from there. Otherwise, you're just gonna be stuck in this middle chop right here. It's just an area of manipulation. We have a lot of red flags, right? Opening price, sessions, news price. I mean, this can easily shift back up for a market flow entry, but there's also a lot of areas here where price can just fake out. So let's see if it's finally going to push back up. If it doesn't, we might get this push back down. So again, if price comes back lower, this is going to be the first target price point for it to retest. Because price technically hasn't broken past the liquidity right here. It's touched the liquidity once. If it comes back down for a retest, that's going to be the second touch. And that might be the time where it actually blasts right through. Let's check CNBC real quick. Everything's kind of flat right now with regards to the Dow and S&P. All right, so we got price climbing back up right here. Again, looking for this to actually push up. It's still stuck within this middle area here, which you don't really want to trade at. Price is pushing past opening price here. Let's see if it actually holds up here. So if it holds up from this area, I'll be looking for it to retrace back and push up from there. But again, right here, it's failed to actually break and close past it. If anything, I might even wait for it to push past the levels here. But the last thing I want to do is get into a buy here, and then it pulls right back into this area, to the sessions, and then it just retraces back to stop loss, of course. But again, right here, there's another opportunity for market flow. It's just not an entry that I'd be looking for because it's in this middle area here, which I consider a bunch of red flags and manipulation. All right, we're getting closer to 7 o'clock. As you guys can see, the volatility is starting to die down a lot. This is what we expected. Unfortunately, we did get caught in a lot of chop here, which is what we were worried about. But it was expected. So You take the risk with these trades. You can never be 100% about like what's going to happen next. And it pretty much did what we expected. I said, watch out for the chop here. I mean, it looked like it was pushing up nice. And then obviously the chop here got established. And the chop is still the same from earlier. Actually, it's a little wider now. So it's between this area up here, the 750, and this lower area right here at the liquidity, which is at 600. So the range right here is pretty big. The chop's like right here down the middle, but the range is pretty big between this area and this area down here. We were hoping price would break out of this area and it'd be out of the chop and out of the range, but unfortunately it's still stuck within this area here. It looks like it might be coming back down further. If that's the case, it's completely fine. We can start looking for some sells because the target price point is still down here. So price comes back to retest liquidity. There's still opportunity there for entry, of course. All right. So let's see if price actually stays down below here. So there's two things that will likely happen here. Price will either stay below here and reach the next target, or price will pull back and just stay up here within the chop. All right, so for the day so far, we're currently at one net loss. We had one loss, one win, brought us back to break even. And I took one loss right here, getting into this trade a little later. It ended up reversing on us. All right, so it looks like price is trying to stay down here. Looking for that second retest of liquidity down there. Price comes any lower than this, the next target price point is going to be the next level of liquidity down here. So we're not going to get an entry here yet, but again, I'm going to look for that retracement. Unless you guys want to take the second retest of liquidity down here, I probably would be a little careful with that, at least for now. But all right, we got 20 seconds left on here. What I'm going to look for next is a retracement and continuation back down. That's what I'll be looking for here. Looks like price is trying to come back down. All right, so there goes a second retest of liquidity. If you guys took that there, looks like it shot right through it. Yeah, so there goes a second test. This is what I was telling you guys earlier. I said, well, probably look out for that second test of liquidity because the first tests have been kind of choppy. Same with the liquidity above. That's where you can base it off, guys. Like if you look at the liquidity from earlier this morning, it did the same thing. It just kind of tapped it, came back down, and then now it's actually blasting right through. The next target price point is going to be right here. This could be a possible triple confluence, like Sadie just mentioned. Triple confluence, possibly. Again, I'm going to look for my market flow entries, guys. That's my main focus with our live sessions now, just because of the choppiness of the market. Sell signal right there is about to close. The next target looks like it's about to get hit. Again, I'd probably look for that second retest of it. Touch right there. Next target's going to be the level below. Yeah, Sadie said he stopped trading. I'm still looking for maybe one more entry here. Bring me back to break even. So since I've half my risk in half, I'm able to take two back-to-back or two net losses. So for the most part, I typically try to go for, well, right now I'm at one net loss, slight loss for the day. And I can try to make it back on the next one. And that's kind of what I'm aiming for right now. The volatility is kind of low now. It's getting closer to 7 o'clock. It's pretty much what we expected. But we'll, obviously we'll keep looking for entries here. Typical Monday, especially coming back from like a lot of the stuff that we expected from this week. The Microsoft issues, there's earnings this week, also Biden dropping out of the race. So, and the market's kind of, it's kind of all over the place, just like we anticipated it to be. And you just can't be scared to trade in these markets, of course, right? you gotta take them head on. All right, so looking at this here. Not really too much happening here. The volatility is starting to die down a lot, which is what we were expecting once it hit 7 o'clock. It's 6:59 right now. For this candle, it's going to be 7. And yeah, the market volatility here is likely to die down quite a bit. So we got the Asia low right here. It's the next liquidity level. That's going to be the next target price point. So let me just clean up the liquidity right here. Clean up this liquidity right there. Clean that up right there too. So price is now bouncing off the Asia low right here. Bouncing off it. We'll see if it retraces up, retests. But you guys can see the volatility is starting to slow down quite a bit. The ATR is still high, but the specific candles are starting to die down a little bit, which is normal for 7 o'clock, of course. There you go. Next target price point is going to be the liquidity down here. So I think this is setting up for the bullish push either later today or for tomorrow, guys. I think this right here is just manipulation happening because there's a lot of stuff that's happening this week. The reason why I don't think this is going to be holding is because of the sentiment right here. The sentiment's at 68%. You can see a lot of people are bandwagoning onto these sells. And I think it's just setting up for the news that's coming up later this week. Because if you look at the news for this week, so new home sales, it's forecasted to be positive. S&P Global Services forecasted to be positive. Everything here is pretty much, for the most part, forecasted to be positive. So I think it'll drop a little bit, and then eventually it'll swing back up. But I mean, it doesn't really matter to us. We could still trade in either direction. But it's coming down and retest. So the next target price point here is going to be the next session right here, the London low, which is where it's probably going to push to if it ends up climbing lower. The only problem with this here is that I don't really like when price is, I guess this is what we call a session sandwich. I don't like when price is trading between sessions like this, because it just ends up being an area where there's just a lot of risk involved. So what I would personally look for here is I might look for price to swing up, bounce even off the sessions and come back down hard. Because if I see that, I'm expecting price to come down and continue to this lower session right here, which is the London low. Yeah, exactly. Sam said it's not overextended, all the red candles. Yeah, and if you measure from right here, price has dropped about almost 200 points, right? That's why I'm looking for that hard retracement. Because if you get a hard retracement and it continues back down, that's where you know that that's how you know that the overextension is not done, right? Like, for example, these over here. This is overextended, but I'd be looking for it to come back down. There's a V1 pattern right there. Thanks, Sadie, for the heads up. A double body rejection right here off the lower low. This is a reversal pattern. So it looks like price may retrace here a little bit. So one of two things may happen. This may be a full-on retracement and it may shoot back up, or this could be a small retracement. Price will come up, bounce off, and come right back down. Right, two different things there. So let's see if this swings up and then comes back down hard. If it swings up, bounces off the pivot, or either the pivot or the sessions here, and it comes back down red, this will probably be a continuation back to the target down below. So that's what I'll be looking for. We have about 20 seconds left on this candle, so I don't think we have enough time for it to come back down, especially with the low volatility. But that's kind of what you could expect if you're looking for a market flow entry here. And now it's too close to the session, so I'm not even going to bother at this point. Yeah, it looks like this might be. Yeah, I don't like where it's at right now. I'm okay with it being down here. So if this candle right here, this big green candle shot up and came right back down, then I would have been okay with the market flow entry. But because price is now sitting at the sessions, it's not really a good area to trade in, because I'm okay with it bouncing off it, but I don't want it to be cutting through it or being within the candle, of course. Like this right here, I don't like this. This is a manipulated pattern right here. Because at this point, now you don't know where price is going to go. There's no rejection off the session. This can easily be a fake out. And this sucks because this is exactly what I was looking for, right? I said I want a price to push up, bounce off the pivot or the session and come right back down. And that's exactly what I wanted. But because this candle here pushed up so high, we didn't have that. This candle is actually within the body, but it's doing the pattern that I was hoping for with regard to price action. So again, the target price point is still down below here, but price is going back and forth as it consolidates within this middle area. So it looks like price is consolidating within the sessions and the level right here, the 500 mark. So we got price right here. I mean, it's just consolidating within this area here. I don't think I'm going to be able to look for any market flow entries because there's just no volatility here. Like it would have to be a really dramatic push up and a dramatic push back down for me to want to even look at any market flow entries here. Because you can see it's pretty obvious that price is just consolidating within this middle area. What we need is a strong push up and a very strong push down. But because the volatility is so low, I'm not really expecting that. Again, the target price points can be down here at the London low. We have liquidity right here. Price pretty much just bouncing between these two areas. So let me just clean this up a little bit. Here goes, price drops down to the next target, which is the sessions. Let me see if there's another target below here. So there's actually a lot of sessions right here. We have the London low, and then below this, we have the New York low. So we have two sessions right here down below. We have another V1 pattern right here. So if this candle closes green, this could be a V1 variation. Could also be a CV entry. That's a reversal pattern, so it might swing right back up again right after this candle here if it closes green. So we're doing basically full analysis with the confluences of the other strategies. So again, another V1 variation pattern coming up right here. This could be a possible CV entry. Same as a variation, it's just another pattern for reversal. So if this here closes green, this could possibly retrace back up, maybe even reverse, right? Maybe even reverse back to open. If price climbs back up, the next target price point here for any buys is going to be the sessions and the opening price right there. So it looks like the candle is about to close here. We have about 2 seconds. This is a V1 variation CV pattern. So this is a reversal pattern from the bottom. We'll see if it actually pushes up from here. There's one of two things that are going to happen. Price is either going to push up for retracement or it's going to fake out and come right back down below further. The problem with this here that the volatility is so low, can't really tell what's going to happen, right? So there goes price pushing back up. That's kind of what we expected because we saw the reversal pattern there. So again, if you wanted to take that as a V1 variation, you could have. Full TP right there. It would be against the trend, so I wouldn't have taken it as an entry like that. But I know some of you guys do like to trade counter trend, and that would have been your opportunity for entry right there. There goes a reversal retracement that we just talked about. See, these price action patterns, they happen all the time. They always repeat. So if you guys are able to see them, you can capitalize on the inconsistency, or you can just use it as a confluence for retracement or reversal. Nice. Sam said he caught it in, quick in and out. Yeah, it's a quick entry. I mean, if you're taking it as a V1, it's got to be super quick. But again, you can see here that price is just consolidating. This is why I don't want to trade around this area because I need price to actually be moving. If I need to take my loss for the day, that's fine. For today, I'm at one net loss, guys. Just a reminder, if you guys are just joining. Had one loss initially when market opened. I had one win right after that. And then right after that, I took one loss. So I was at net loss, break even, back to one net loss. I was hoping I'd be able to take one more trade to break even for the day. But looking at the market right here, the volatility is so low, I'm not really expecting many opportunities here for us to like have any entries. Yeah, Sam said US30 on a 1 minute candle. I need a pre-workout, right? Yeah, this will get your heart thumping for sure, especially trading in the chop over here. Okay, so while nothing here is really happening, I'm gonna go and just take screenshots of the trades we took earlier over here so that we have some documentation of like what happened. So this was the first one right here. This was the first one that was at 637. So that was the first loss, 637. The one that we won at was right here on the next one, which was at 640. And then the second loss is right here, where price just ended up doing a full-on reversal, which was at 641. So again, we're just at one net loss for the week. Not too bad. I mean, we can make it back. It's so early in the week that we have a whole week ahead of us. That's why right now I'm like not really like I don't feel the need to force any trades right now. Yeah, no FOMO, exactly, Sadie. No FOMO because we have a whole week ahead of us, guys. The volatility here is very low. So I mean, if the volatility was higher and we got to climb back up like really quick, then okay, great. I'll look for some entries. But because the volatility is so low, there's no need to really force any trades here. Price is just consolidating within these two levels right here. So it's consolidating between the 550 level and the 500 level. That's kind of just where it's at right now. So I'll continue to look, but I'm not going to force any trades here, of course. So you guys can see the reversal pattern here that I gave you guys a heads up for. So I said, okay, this is a V1 variation in the CV pattern. I said price is probably going to reverse back up, right? That's exactly what happened here. So, use these patterns that I've taught you guys over the years to look for these movements because that's typically what happens. It's not like I just came up with some random patterns. We've been trading this way for so long that the patterns just repeat themselves. If you see a V1 variation or a CV pattern, it's probably going to reverse or retrace back up. Right here, price is finally reversing back up. It had a small retracement and then now continued up into a full-on reversal. The reason why we can say this is a reversal is because price is breaking past the pivots here, right? So price climbs higher from where it's currently at. The next target price point is, of course, going to be the opening price right here. So this is where I'm expecting price to push up to if it pushes up higher. If it doesn't push up higher, then we're still expecting price to come back down and retest or initially test the London low down here. So there's just two different areas where price can go. Price can either go up, touch this area, price can go down, touch this area. Yeah, CJ said the sessions interfered with another high low momentum. Yeah, that could have been a good one right there, right, CJ? Reversal pattern back up. This actually would have worked out really well for you because it went with a confluence, right? You had the V1 variation pattern here, CV pattern, and then this right here, the confirmation of reversal. You would have got in at that reversal turnover or started to swing back up. It's all good though. It's like you guys said earlier, it's part of the game. You just have to take what the market's giving to you. Try not to force any trades. Just look for the trades to come to you. So again, we will continue to wait here for some sort of confirmation. But like I said, there's just not really much going on here. Volatility is low. And there's just not much to work with. So I'm just waiting for some volatility to pick back up, guys. I'm still not completely done in the market yet, but I will continue looking here. Like there would have to be like some, like the volatility would have to pick up completely for me to actually take something though. So just keep that in mind, guys. I'm looking for entries here, but I'm not necessarily like, I'm not forced to take anything. So like this right here, the volatility is too low. If we start to get like a climb and it starts to climb up very fast and volatility does pick back up, then okay, great. I'll look for some entries, but again, not going to force any trades for the day. I'm still okay with like where I'm currently at right now with regard to my P&L for the day. Could always be worse, right? Could always be worse. Let's see. We got some team profits over here. So we got Max over here. Big congrats to Max. He got his payout from Apex. So again, just another confirmation here. A lot of you guys are wondering if Apex actually pays out. Max is one of the members here in the group. It's different if I'm showing you guys my payouts because obviously it's going to be pretty much a given. But when you see other members here getting their payouts, Max here got paid out 2,000 from Apex. So nice work, Max. Also, we have Jonathan here. He locked in one trade for the day and he's pretty much done. He locked in 975. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts. So we locked in about 5,000 for the day. All wins here to kick off the trading week. Nice work, Jonathan. Other than that, again, we're still waiting for something here to happen in the market. The market stays dead. That's completely fine. Not really going to force any trades here because we still have the whole week ahead of us. You guys just don't want to dig too deep of a hole for yourself. Like if you guys already know you're in a hole, I would just wrap it up for the week. The market's not good right now anyways. If the market was good, then, different story. But the market here is pretty slow. So there's no need to force any trades here. Looks like so the range for the day here is currently established. That's what a lot of people like to call initial balance, right? The high's right there, low's right there. There goes your range for the day. If price pushes up higher, of course, the target price point is going to be that higher high. If price drops any lower, target price point is going to be down here, which we already know. Like these are our targets already. It's not like things are very much different, right? So if price comes back lower, target price point is going to be the sessions right here, farther than where it was earlier this morning. And then if price pushes up, the first target is going to be here. But if price breaks past opening price, the next target is going to be up here. So that's kind of what we're looking at. But at this very moment, there's just nothing going on here. Price just goes back and forth in a slow consolidation movement. All right, meanwhile, I'm just going to look over here. Sam said, I'm good for the day. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you guys are good for the day, that's perfectly fine. There's no need to force any trades here. I'll keep looking for entries here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop your questions into the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to be answering some questions here on the side, some private questions. There's just nothing going on, but it's still early, so I'm not ready to get off yet. 7:19 right now. Probably hang out for like another 20 minutes or so. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop into the chat. I'll keep looking for entries here, but there's just nothing else going on at this point. Um, yeah, it's just for the most part kind of dead. Adam said, "How was the batch?" The batch was fun. That was a great time. Everyone had a great time. It was cool. Um, yeah, it was pretty smooth. It was it's your typical batch, right? It was crazy, but it was fun. I mean, I feel like the batch could have been one day, honestly. Like we went super hard like the first day, first 2 days actually. And I feel like that could have been it. Yesterday, or not yesterday, but the day before that it was just it was too much at that point. I was ready to come home. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, I was just thinking about trading on Friday and Thursday and Friday because I was like, man, I saw a lot of people here post profits. Yeah, during the when I was at the airport, I saw you guys post some profits and you guys actually did pretty good while I was gone. Like David over here locked in some profit, Ethan locked in profit. True. Saw a lot of you guys here do pretty well. So I mean it's cool. It was a nice little break, but for me personally, I don't really like going on vacation for too long. Well, I like going on vacation, but if I'm still trading. Like I like trading so much that I'd rather trade than go on vacation. Or if I'm on vacation, I still want to trade while on vacation. But since it was my batch, of course I was going to trade because the last thing you want to do is trade when you're not fully focused. But it was great. I mean, batch is batch, and I am ready to get back to my routine. Eat too much, drink too much. Now I gotta get everything back on track. The volatility is still pretty low, guys. So just another heads up. I'm gonna be looking, but not gonna be forcing anything here. Yeah, no, definitely say thanks. Yeah, definitely had a blast. All right, guys. So the volatility here is still pretty low. Again, I'm going to continue watching here. If the volatility does pick back up, then I'll look for some possible entries. But the volatility here is pretty low. It might be a slow climb back up to the opening price here, but again, the target price point is going to be over here. The only problem is that the volatility is too low. There's not going to be opportunities for any market flow entries. You guys can take any other entries, but the market flow entries obviously you need those sharp movements. You need price to push up, push down, come right back up. You can see here it's like a snail movement. It's just going to slowly push up, push up, which is not a bad thing. It's just not the type of volatility that we're looking for here. So I think what you guys can look for here is if you're looking for any possible opportunities here to get in for a buy, there's not going to be breakout V3 continuation because there's a buy signal right here already. What you probably want to look for are some V1 patterns, similar to what we saw over here. But that's kind of what you probably would want to look for. So you look for price to retrace back a little bit, give it a reversal pattern, and continue back up higher. All right. see. So we have another V1 pattern right here, guys. Again, the volatility is just really, really low. There's a double body rejection here. If this candle closes red, this could be a V1 variation. Possible continuation back down. But you guys can see the volatility is just really low. So if you guys want to take it as a V1 pattern, just want to give you guys a heads up there if there's an opportunity there for a sell. For me personally, I wouldn't take it, of course, but just giving you guys a heads up there because the volatility is too low. The reason with this, so the reason you don't want to take trades when the volatility is super low like this is that, so this right here is a V1 pattern, right? It's a V1 entry. The problem with this here is that you might get price to just go sideways and then it might hit your stop loss before it comes down. So you don't really want to trade when the volatility is super low like that. And that's just from experience because, we've been trading this way for a long time. You need volatility. Like, otherwise you just kind of put yourself at chance. And you don't want to trade at chance. Like you want to trade with skill and you want to trade with preparation and understanding of like what's to happen. If you're trading the volatility is low, you're kind of trading at chance. You're taking a gamble at that point. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a V1 pattern right there. Personally, I'd look for a V1 to the upside. I don't really care too much for any sells here. Main target price point would be, of course, the opening price there because we've been looking for buys here pretty much all day. The sells here, I don't think they're going to be holding for too long. Like I said earlier, I said this drop right here is probably going to be some manipulation. That's exactly what happens. The price got manipulated down right here. It lured in a bunch of sellers. Because you can see the retail sentiment here changed. It was at 68%. Then everyone kind of got stopped out. Now it's back to 65%. Back to 66. So if you guys took this right here as a V1 variation pattern, like I said earlier, this could have been your entry, full TP right there, but it was a little tricky, right? You could have gotten caught in any random spike to the upside and then a drop down to TP right here. So if you guys took it, I gave you guys a heads up on that if you guys wanted to take it. But again, it's just not one that I would take. Like I can identify and spot a bunch of entries on here, and I'll let you know if I think they're good entries or not. I didn't think this one right here was very good, but you can see it still does play out. Majority of the times, my strategies still play out, even though I don't think they're safe or I don't think they're like a quality entry. They'll probably still play out, but it's just up to the person who's executing the entry if you want to take that risk or not. Yeah, CJ said, looks like it's trying to crawl back to the Asia high session on the 5-minute. Yeah, definitely. And that's exactly where our target price point is right here. So there's another V1 pattern right here, guys. Another V1 pattern. The volatility here is actually picking up pretty decent. This could have been a market flow entry right here. So, all right, looking at this here, there may be an opportunity for a market flow entry again if price comes down super hard. So I'm looking for this to come down super hard and then come right back up. But the volatility here isn't very consistent. Like you can see this, like I wouldn't even expect this right here, even though this was a market flow entry. I wasn't expecting this to happen because these candles are so small. But this one right here, just the volatility picked up and this was a market flow entry. If it pushes up higher again, like I said, the target price point is going to be up here. So that's where I'm expecting price to go. The only problem with this here is that it's moving so slow that we just don't have the opportunity here. Yeah, Sadie said he lost some liquidity after a very long time, and it's hard to shake it. Yeah, no, exactly, Sadie. Your confidence isn't there right now, right? So I think for you, the best thing to do is just not to trade today, right? You can look for entries and identify entries, maybe even trade on a paper account just to, get your feet wet. But for the most part, yeah, if your confidence isn't there right now, like it's not 100%, then you basically are trading on tilt at that point. It's not considered like you're trading on FOMO, you're trading on revenge trade, you're trading on some sort of tilt, and it's just not worth the risk. That's why, like, for me, I'm not really looking at anything here unless I see something that's really good. So, like, for example, right here, if this here was spiked down very hard and then come back up, then okay, great. I'll be looking for a possible market flow entry. But it's got to like actually come down and push up super hard. If I'm not ready for it and it doesn't come down and it doesn't give me what I'm looking for, then obviously I'm not going to force the trade here. This candle has about 15 seconds left on it. Not expecting it to come down and come up within that time period. So I'm not expecting market flow entry to come up right here. 7:30 now. So again, like I said, this is like what we were expecting earlier, right? I said you're probably not going to get the increased volatility, but you're going to get a slow snail climb back to the target up here. There's also a V1 pattern right here. So this was another reversal pattern. That's why I was okay with taking this here as a possible market flow entry. So I saw the V1 variation pattern. So I'm like, okay, if this comes down hard and comes right back up, this is probably going to push right through, right? But the volatility here is just a little too low. And there's not much here for me to really want to work with. Yeah, Sadie said, yep, holding on. Did not take my favorite triple confluence. Also, just wanted to get it out of my system. So set it here. Please continue. Yeah, no, definitely, Sadie, 100%. And that's the best way to do it, right? Sometimes you guys just have to be vocal about like what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and stuff like that. That's going to stop you from making mistakes. Um, yeah, because the problem with a lot of traders, and we've talked about this before, is a lot of people are not willing to admit that they made a mistake or that they could have done things differently, right? A lot of people they just they don't want to own up to it. So yeah, if you understand that, okay, I took a loss there, it's hard for me to get over. It just helps you get over it. Otherwise, you're just going to keep thinking about it, and I mean, really, you're just going to make a mistake. So. All right. Other than that, we'll keep looking for new opportunities here. But like I said earlier, there's just not much for us to work with here. Volatility is kind of still kind of low. I mean, if you're looking at the OG entries, the V1 variations. So if the market's moving slow like this, the main things you want to focus on are basically V1 entries because everything else requires a lot of volatility. Like the breakout V3 continuations, they require volatility. Things like the PRB. Let's see if the PRB even came up today. Market open right here. Projection. So this looks like it could have been a PRB right here, but the volatility is just not very high. Possible PRB there. Yeah, I don't really trade the PRB, but I know some of you guys still do. Let's see. All right, so there's nothing here right now. Let's see, Steven's asking a question. Sean, can you analyze gold while the market is slow? I typically would say no, but yeah, I'm not taking any trades right now, so I can just look at it for you. So I mean, it's the same analysis, Steven. There's nothing here that really changes. I mean, so the main thing is like you have to understand how to analyze the market. And then that just transfers over to any other asset. So like looking up here at gold, it's obviously bearish. You can see prices below the pivots, trend meters red, pivots are angling down. The same thing we were looking at for YM, right? Whenever price is below the pivots, it's going to be bearish. Whenever price is above the pivot, it's going to be bullish. Looking at this here at gold, prices passed all the lows from yesterday. So you can see the London low, New York low, Asia lows right here. So, Steven, let me get your why do you think it's going to be a buy? I just told you it was a sell and I said it was bearish, but You said now should we see a buy for gold? No, you should definitely not see a buy for gold. You should see a sell for gold. I don't know like where your thought process is with this for being a buy when everything here is pointing towards a sell, Stephen. Um, so I think maybe you give me your analysis, Stephen, because I want to see where your brain's actually at when it comes down to it. Because because if you were going to take a buy here, Stephen, I think you're just ready to blow your accounts, to be honest. Because you just asked for a buy, but I gave you a whole analysis for a sell here. So if price continues to drop lower, and I'll just keep going with my analysis here because there's just no reason to look here for a buy. The target price point here for price to drop lower is going to be the 385 mark right here. This right here is where I'd expect price to push down to. And then if price continues to drop lower, then the next target price point is going to be right here at the 380 mark, right? Those are the targets. There's no other targets here because all of these session high lows are above. So you can see these are the actual targets that we would probably be looking for. But because price is so down below, this here, I mean, it's just not where I'm expecting price to go. And the thing is, like with gold, you can't really expect price to be overextended like this because it'll just keep dropping, right? And there's a target price point right there. It's still not there yet, but it's going to keep climbing down to the lower level. And like what Sadie said over here, like Sadie said, it's called catching a falling knife. Yeah, if you catch a falling knife, you're probably gonna, it's probably gonna keep bleeding, right? Because the only thing here, like if you're looking for a buy here, you're kind of just gambling at that point. You're really just gambling until you see something that really points to the upside. Like if you see a V1 variation, then okay, maybe you can start looking for a possible reversal, right? But you just don't have that here. So there's nothing for you to look for to actually, I mean, if price does swing back up, which it probably will eventually, and the reason why I'm saying that is because gold kind of moves aligned with YM. If I'm expecting YM to be bullish, I'm probably expecting gold here to be bullish too at some point. Um, but yeah, I mean, right now specifically, I just don't really see any reason to look for any, like if you don't. Here's one thing I would look for: if price came down to this level here, the 850, and then I saw a strong bounce off it, then okay, great. That's like one of your patterns. Or if you see a V1 variation from down here, then I would look for the bounce. But for this right here, I think price is probably just going to range and consolidate within this area here, maybe even higher. It doesn't look like gold really has a range set yet. So I think eventually it might establish some sort of range or consolidation within this area. And then once you have that range established, then you can look for price to reverse, right? But again, you're just looking for clues for the reversal. I mean, you can try to catch bottoms here, but you can see here, let me just scroll over here. I'll replay it. I can see there's a bunch of V1 variation patterns that came up here and didn't actually reverse, right? V1 pattern right there. You could have maybe assumed that price was going to turn right here, but obviously you can see it didn't. Price came down lower. Same with this right here. I think there's another V1 pattern here. Again, right there, another V1 pattern. You could have expected this to maybe reverse, but at this point, it doesn't. It keeps dropping lower. So see this right here, and I don't have liquidity marked up here, so we don't really have many targets here to look at. I mean, there's not even any liquidity here on the 1 minute. This price is so far down below. Yeah, exactly. Sadie said, look at gold now. Imagine if you bought it, it took out the low liquidity. Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty much just ranging around this area. Like you can see here, it's now coming back down. It's pretty much doing what I just like kind of mentioned. I said there's no real confirmation of reversal yet, so it's probably just going to range within this area. That's why there's no reason to take any buys here yet. And then again, right here, there's a CV pattern. So high with the green candle, smaller red candle. This is a reversal pattern back down, and now it's going to continue back down even lower. So let's see. Yeah, CJ said, what's the TP stop loss for gold? Honestly, I have no idea. I don't trade gold. So, I mean, your best bet is to ask Steven here. He's a gold master. But because the ATR is currently at 1.4. So let's see. I think for gold, so like looking at this here, I think 15.15 looks like it might be a little too tight, or I mean, it looks like it might be able to work. You kind of would have to play around with it. Um, like you'd have to look for some certain entries, like specific entries that meet the criteria. So it would have to be like I would go from increments like 15.15, look at like maybe 20.20, all the way up to like 30.30. But for the most part, it looks like 15.15 might be able to work depending on the volatility. You know, if the volatility is high, then I think 15.15 could be a quick in and out. If it's too high, then obviously you can go up to like 20.20, 25.25, but you kind of have to just play around with it to make sure. Gold sucks. Let's see these questions. And Steven said, so gold can actually go down to 23.50. I mean, gold can go anywhere, Steven. It could go anywhere you think it may go. Like, there's no set number that it's like. I mean, I'm looking over here at 23.50. Okay, what's your analysis, Steven? Because you call out a lot of stuff, but like I'm trying to understand, like, where are you getting these numbers from, or where are you like? Because that's like a very specific number. I know it's a whole number. If that's your only reason for it to come down to, then I don't think that's a good reason. Um, I'm just trying to understand your thought process, Steven, because it seems like I'm just looking over here. There's no targets at 23.50. Is that your goal to make $1 million today? Is that like your number, like unique price to come down here to make your million that you're trying to reach? Because I just don't see any targets down here. Um, I know your goal is to make $1 million a day, but I just don't see any targets here at like 350. Let's see. Yeah, because I'm looking at 350 right now. There's like nothing down here. I mean, I could see that there's possibly, if you're looking at this as a support level, but the 350 level right here is like kind of a random number, which is okay. It's okay to be a random number, but there should be more analysis behind it. Steven said, I'm trying to figure out when the reversal happens. I think you got to go back and like work on your execution, Steven, because you're just guessing at that point. Because I mean, the number that you mentioned, the 350, like I don't see anything down there. If that's where you think the reversal is going to happen, I just think it's like kind of random that you're just like, oh, a 350. I mean, there's other points here that look like the pivots would make more sense, right? Like if you see a sharp movement off the pivot, that would make more sense. Like for example, here, this green candle right here bounced off it. That could have been your buy point. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'll let you. There's no, you can't guarantee a reversal point, Stephen. Like I don't know what you're thinking, but there's no way that you can guarantee that, okay, this is where the reversal point is going to happen. You got to have some sort of analysis behind it. I just gave you my analysis for gold. That's kind of what I'm expecting right now. Price is just ranging within this area. This is what I said earlier, right? I said price is probably going to range between these levels right here because there's just not any confirmation that price is ready for reversal. And there's not really a confirmation that price is ready to continue back down lower. So I think the main thing to look out for here is, so just looking at gold, you want price probably, so in order for it to drop lower, it's probably gonna have to drop below this 385 and continue dropping down from there. That's if you're looking for a sell. And then vice versa, if you're looking here for a buy, you want to see some sort of break above and continuation up higher from there. Let's see. CJ said, Steven, if you wanted to buy something, you should have just stayed on YM chart. It's literally gone up 100 points since you asked your question. I know let's go back to YM. Okay, Steven, we're done with gold for today. I gave you my analysis and yeah, I mean, my analysis over here on YM also played through perfect. So Steven, if you would have just focused on YM here and you just took your buy when I said the V1 happened, you would have been you would have been up 100 points already. Um, Yes, I think you should just stay away from gold, Stephen, because every time you trade gold, all you do is blow your accounts. I mean, gold is just not for you. And I think you have to understand that, like, guys, like when you guys are trading, you have to understand like there's going to be some stuff that's for you and some stuff that's just not for you at all. Like if you've been trading an asset for a long time, like I only know this, Stephen, because you're always talking about gold and you just keep blowing accounts. So I think you should probably just stop trading gold. And that's just me coming from, from knowing you as like how you are as a trader. Gold just isn't your asset. You might want to trade something different, like maybe actually trade a YM or trade something else like Nasdaq or S&P. But I think gold is probably something that you'll probably, I don't want to say you'll never get, but it's just not your asset. So guys, just don't force anything on you. If a certain strategy doesn't work for you, don't force it. Like if you don't like to trade my style, don't trade my style. If you don't like to trade, like what's another big one? ICT. If you're like trying to be an ICT trader like everybody else out there and it's not working for you, it just isn't working for you, right? You just probably shouldn't trade that strategy or that style. Same with like assets. If you're trading forex and you've been sucking at forex your whole life, forex is probably not the asset that you want to trade. Same with YM, same with gold, same with Nasdaq, same with NQ, same with ES. Like you shouldn't force a specific asset just because you see other people making money on a certain asset. You shouldn't be forcing it on yourself. If you can't be profitable and you're still following a certain person who's teaching you how to do something, then maybe it's time for a change. And that's just from my experience because I see a lot of people that are just in a they're just in a cycle. It's a cycle where they do a little good, then they blow everything, then they do the same thing over and over again. And at that point, it's like, okay, there has to be some sort of change. You might be doing something, or you're probably doing something that isn't right, or it just doesn't work for you. Like if you're not a swing trader, don't swing trade. If you're not a scalper, don't scalp. If you're not a day trader, don't day trade. You got to find out what style works for you, what strategies work for you, and focus on mastering those. Anyways, there's a market flow entry here that just came up, guys. If you guys saw it, I didn't take it, but it came up right here, bounced off the pivot, shot through, and it's now pushing up to its TP right there. I didn't take it because it just didn't, the volatility was kind of just flat for me. But yeah, there goes that right there. So yeah, I mean, YM is doing exactly what we anticipated. So this is pretty much what I said was going to happen today, right? I said price is probably going to get manipulated down and then it's going to shoot right up and just continue climbing up. And that's exactly where price is going. I said if price pushes up, it's going to hit this target first, and then it's going to hit this target right here. And that's exactly what happened. So, I mean, played out pretty smooth right there if anybody caught that or wrote it up. The volatility here is just not very high. It's still not high enough for me to want to take any of these entries right now. So I think I'm going to take my loss for the day, my net loss, and I'm just going to wrap it up soon. So guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Today was a very choppy day in the beginning. It was pretty much what we expected. I mentioned to be careful for the chop. I was a little careful, and then I just ended up getting caught in the entire chop right here. I just got faked out for the most part. We had one loss right here, one win right here, one loss right here, and then from here, price reversed down to this lower point. We never got another entry for market flow, so I was never able to get back in to break even for the day. And then price pushed it right back up over here. And then again, it looks like the volatility here is kind of dying down a little bit. So the price did push up a little bit, and now the volatility here is pretty much flat again. So just not really expecting much to play through today. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, it's getting close to 8 o'clock, so I'm probably going to wrap this up soon. Not really expecting too much here. I'm expecting price to probably just go back and forth within this area. So right now the range is currently between 750 and the 700 mark. There's another market flow entry here that may be coming up. The volatility is too low, so I'm obviously not going to mess with it. But this could be a possible market flow entry here if anybody is looking to take it. Looks like it could be good. Let me see if I can maybe get into this one here. No, it's not gonna play through. The volatility is too low. I don't want to FOMO into this move because I already know this is gonna be a FOMO move for me. Yeah, I didn't even turn green, so there's no market flow entry there. But I mean, it could have been good if it spiked up, like if price came down and then it shot up really hard, then okay, great. But it didn't actually happen. And I already knew my phone was starting to kick in because I knew the volatility here was low, and there's no need to get into something like that because the last thing you want to do is get into a position and it just go sideways for like the next 30 minutes and then hit your stop loss and hit your TP, right? So all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. I'm starting to get some FOMO here, so I don't want to be forcing any trades. Um, Again, today we had two losses and one win, so we're at one net loss for the day. We were at break even for a bit, but just one net loss, so it's not horrible. Typical Monday, and we'll come back tomorrow fresh and ready to bounce back. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, if you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in as well. But right now, it looks like the market's just kind of going back and forth for a bit. It looks like the range might actually extend out a little bit. So between, it looks like the 650 and the 750 right here. That is probably where price can be bouncing from. And I'm just not really expecting much to happen from here until 8 o'clock. So there's just no need to stay on and force any trades here. Because this is probably where the FOMO and the revenge trading will start to kick in if you guys are looking for something to take. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up for the day. I think this is, yeah, it's probably a good time to call it. There's nothing here happening, and price is probably going to keep going sideways from now until 8 o'clock. So, all right, guys, you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, we'll be back here same time, same place tomorrow as we continue on with this trade.